We're now ready to start part 2 of photosynthesis, the light-independent reactions. In part 1 of photosynthesis, the light-dependent reactions, our goal was to make NADPH and ATP. Those molecules were going to contain the energy that's going to be used ultimately to make glucose in the light-independent reactions. So let's go ahead and get started. The light-independent reactions, also known as the dark reactions or the Kelvin cycle, is just that. It's a cycle. It's a series of chemical reactions, and what you end up with is going to be used to start the entire cycle all over again. We're going to go ahead and start up here. And each one of these areas is going to be a step. So instead of being molecule 1, molecule number 2, we're going to have steps here. And each step is going to have several molecules as part of that step. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start up here with 3 molecules of carbon dioxide coming into our cycle. So 3 molecules of carbon dioxide, and those 3 molecules of carbon dioxide are going to react with step 4 here, which consists of 3 molecules of RuBP. R, lowercase u, capital B, capital P. This stands for ribulose bisphosphate. RuBP. RuBP, each molecule of RuBP consists of 5 carbons. For a total of, since we have 3 molecules and each molecule is 5 carbons each, we have 15 carbons total. So these 3 molecules of RuBP are going to undergo a chemical reaction with 3 molecules of CO2 by way of an enzyme called Rubisco. This enzyme catalyzes this chemical reaction. And what we're going to end up with is 6 molecules of PGA. PGA stands for 3-phosphoglycerate. 3-phosphoglycerate. Now each molecule of PGA consists of 3 carbon atoms. And since we have 6 molecules of PGA, 6 times 3 for a total of 18 carbons total. So we had 15 carbons in step 4, plus 3 more carbons gives us 18 carbons total. Now we're going to undergo another chemical reaction, and we're going to rearrange the atoms here. Now this is going to take the input of some energy. So we're going to have to put some ATP in here. In fact, it's going to cost us 6 ATP. In addition, the NADPH we made in the light-independent or the light-dependent reactions is also going to be used. So we're going to have 6 NADPH go to 6 NADP+. So the energy of ATP and the high energy cargo of NADPH is going to get put onto these PGA molecules, and we're going to rearrange the atoms, and ultimately we're going to end up with 6 molecules of G3P. Now G3P stands for glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Again, G3P, each molecule consists of 3 carbons each. We have 6 molecules, so 6 times 3 is 18 carbons total. Now at this point, these 6 G3P molecules are going to move on. And only 5 out of the 6 are going to move to step 3. one of the molecules is going to exit the cycle. So I will put one molecule of G3P. And that exits the cycle. The other 5 molecules continue onward. So we'll write that over here. 5 molecules of G3P. Again, each one consists of 3 carbons each for a total of 15 carbons. From here, we're going to undergo a chemical reaction. This is also going to require energy, the energy of ATP, and it's going to require 3 ATP. And our G3Ps are going to get converted to RuBPs so that the cycle can begin again. So let's go ahead and go through this. We have 3 carbon dioxides coming in, reacting with 3 RuBPs to give us 6 PGAs. These 6 PGAs are going to get some energy. We're going to rearrange the atoms, and we're going to end up with 6 G3Ps. This is very important because at this point we're going to lose one of those G3Ps. And the next time this cycle comes around, we're going to lose another G3P. So I'll put another G3P here. Each G3P has 3 carbon atoms plus 3 more carbon atoms. These G3Ps are going to be undergoing chemical reactions, and ultimately that is what's going to give us glucose, which is what our goal is all about. To store the energy of sunshine in the form of chemical energy in the chemical bonds of glucose. The other 5 G3Ps move on, undergo a chemical reaction with the addition of ATP energy to reconstitute RuBP again, which can be used to start the process again. So the goal of the light-independent reactions is to produce G3Ps, which will then undergo chemical reactions to ultimately give us glucose. Now, glucose has 6 carbons. Where do these carbons actually come from? Well, the carbons actually come from carbon dioxide. 3 carbons in one turn, and then the next turn we're going to add 3 more carbons. Ultimately, those carbons are going to end up in glucose. The energy stored in the chemical bonds of glucose came from the ATP and the NADPH that we made in the light-dependent reactions. This entire process takes place in the chloroplast stroma. That's important because the ATP and the NADPH we made in the light-dependent reactions was found in the chloroplast stroma. That's where those molecules were actually made, and it stands to reason that it would be efficient to take these molecules where they were made and use them right then and there in the chloroplast stroma, therefore reducing the energy we have to put out in terms of active transport. And that's going to be it for the light-independent reactions.